Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back. We are back for our next squares, which is going to be 16 and 17. And the reason I have all this yarn up here on my desk is because this particular square is an original. It's a granny square. And I know some of you already know how to make the granny squares because a lot of you who do crochet, this is where you started, and this is where I started also. Now I'm going to do this in the new way, not the older way, so you'll see what I mean when we get started. I am using my H hook today, and I'm using these colors because I'm going to switch off. So this is one of the ones where it's going to be done in rows, and I thought it would be pretty to pull all these colors that I've already used, pull them into my square, so it'll blend in with the rest of the blanket. So we're going to start with the cream, then I'm going to do this green, then the cream, and this green, and the cream, and so it'll go back and forth. There's 6 rows for this granny square. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's start with our slip knot here, and now we're going to chain 4. We're going to form a ring. So we're going to come back to that first one right here. This little deal is a knot. Don't go into the knot. Go into your first one and slip to join. Then I'm going to probably want to keep that kind of tucked in as I go. And I like to come back in here and kind of wiggle it a little to give me enough room. Now we're going to chain 3, and this is going to count as our first double crochet. All right, and now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the ring. Now you're going to chain 2. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the ring, and again I'm working over my tail a little bit. I only usually do that for a little while, and then I let it go and tuck it back in later. That's just how I roll. Now we're going to chain 2 again. Now we're going to do, and I kind of pull it over so everything will fit. Ah, yikes. So 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, pull it over again, 3 more double crochets, chain 2, and now we're going to join to the top of that first chain right here. By slipping. All right, so now what you have is a square. You've got your start because you've got your 4 corners now where your chain 2s were. Okay, this is a traditional granny square. All right, now we're going to mark this front, and for now I'm going to do, I'll go back and put a little piece of yarn, but for now I'm just going to mark it with my little slip-on marker as my front, which honestly, if you're doing this, you're just going round and round, unless you cut it and like I'm going to do, and then you accidentally flip it over, you're really not going to have a problem. So you can continue to go on and on with the same color if you like, or you can switch colors like I am. Excuse me. Now, if you are using your same color, you're going to slip over to the corner. So you're going to want to slip there in the top of the next one, and then slip into this corner so that you are over here when you start, because you're going to want to start in the corner. Okay, so now I'm going to join with my new color. Chain one, and now I'm going to tighten that one back here. Get that tight. Bring that down. Grab these two. Now we're going to do double crochet. And another one. I'm going to leave those and probably tighten them up. Tuck them in later. Okay, so we did our chain one. So we do three double crochets. I'm going to chain one and do 3 more. Sorry guys, I wasn't even in frame. Chain one, and now we're going to go to our corner over here and do 3 double crochets, chain one, and 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're going to chain one again and go to this corner. And repeat the 3 double crochets, chain one, 3 double crochets. Chain one, and we go to our last corner. Three double crochets. Chain one, 3 double crochets. Chain one, and then you're going to join right here at the top of that first double crochet right there with the slip stitch. And again, you're going to want to skip over to your corner. So I'm going to do that. This time I'm going to do that before I cut my yarn. So I'm going to slip stitch over. 1, 2, and into the corner. And now I'm there. So now I'm going to break my yarn. And I'm going to go back to my white, my cream. Where are you at? There it is. Join. Do a chain one. Pull that tight. Okay, and again, 3 double crochets. Now this is round 3. Three double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets in this corner. Now we're going to chain 1, and in this space right here we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 1. Now we're back to our corner where we do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, which is considered a cluster. Chain 1, and now 3 double crochets in this middle space, chain 1, and you're back to your corner. So do that when you get all the way around to here. You'll chain 1, and then you'll slip stitch to this first top of this first double crochet over here, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I slip stitched over to the corner. I'm going to cut my yarn. Now I'm going to do my next color, which is this Mainstays. Do a chain 1 to join it. So we do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in this corner. Just pulling those out from the back where I had done my tail under. And now you're going to do like you did on the other. So this is 1, 2, 3. Now I'm on row 4. So 4 through 6. This is what you're going to do. Your 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in each of the spaces. Chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then back to your corner and do your cluster, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and you'll do that all the way around. And that is for rows 4, 5, and 6. So you guys go ahead and do that. And if you joined a new color, remember to go over to your, wherever you end, you've got to slip stitch over to the nearest corner before you start the next round. Okay, I'll meet you guys back in just a little bit. Okay, we have our finished square. This is our finished granny square. I really like how this turned out. I'm liking those colors a lot. So I've got my piece on the front to mark this is the front of my square. And how I went around to do my 112 stitches, got to the corner and I put my 3 in the corner, and then I started right here at the edge and got that very first one there, and then through here, and then here, and each one of here. And then when I got to here, I did that very edge here as an extra, and then in the middle also. I did that, went across and did it again over here. That way I added 2 extra so that I had my 25. Because you almost always have to make up a 25. It does not always come out to 25 stitches across that side. So that's what I did, guys. And then my 3 again in the center, 25, you know, all the way around. And it's with my H hook, it is 8 inches, which is just what we want. Perfect. Okay, that is square number 16. Now let's do 17. Okay, now for square number 17. Let's get our loop. And we are going to chain 12. Now you're going to join to form a ring. So not in our knot, but the one right before it. Slip stitch through. Okay, I must pull that a little tight. Now you're going to chain 3, and that's going to count as your double crochet now and throughout the square. Anytime you do a chain 3 at the beginning of the row, it's going to count as your first double crochet. All right, now we're going to do 3 double crochets in our ring. Now we're going to work a cluster in the ring as follows. Yarn over, insert the hook in the ring and pull up a loop. Pull through 2. Do it again. That's twice. That's 3 times. That's 4 times. 5 times. 6 times. Now we should have 7 on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now yarn over and pull through 6 of them. Now you should have 2. Yarn over and pull through those 2. And that makes your first cluster in the loop. Now you're going to do 4 double crochets, and then you're going to work the cluster. So you kind of have to take stock of where you're at. This is where we did the double crochets. Here's our cluster. We cinched that cluster up. Now we're going to come back over here. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I hope I wasn't off camera. Okay, so see, this is where we did those double crochets. This is where we did the cluster. This is the top of the cluster right here. Where your hook is, it's the top of that cluster. And there's our ring over here. Come over here to the ring and do 4 double crochets. Now you're going to do another one of those clusters. So yarn over, go into the hook, go through 2, that's once, twice, 3 times a lady, sorry, 4, 5. I don't know why I randomly break into song. Every now and then I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over, go through 6. Yarn over, go through the last 2. And that's your second cluster. So there's our doubles, there's our cluster, there's our doubles, there's our cluster. Now you're going to kind of pull that a little, okay? See? Now your double, double, cluster, cluster. Now we're going to do our doubles again. So come back over to the ring and do 4 doubles. Now we got to do another cluster right here. So pull it over again. So cluster, cluster. Now we're going to have another cluster right here. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go through 6 of them, yarn over, and go through the last 2. Okay, so we've got our doubles, and we've got our cluster, doubles, cluster, doubles, cluster, and now here right at the end, so we have 3 clusters. Right now we have our doubles, 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 and we have our 3 clusters. Now we need to do another set of doubles and 1 more cluster. So go back into your ring and do 4 double crochets. And now we need to do 1 more cluster, and that'll make our square. So we'll have 4 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry about my fan, guys. It got a little warm today and I haven't turned on my air. 5 and 6. So pull through those 6 and then the last 2. And now we are going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet. So see, we have 4 clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of double crochets. So to the top of that, I know this color is kind of hard to see. So slip stitch to the top. And then you can pull your beginning piece to kind of pull it in a little bit, but it is going to be a fairly open center. And I've already marked this side with some yarn. So there's our 4 sets of 4 double crochets and our 4 clusters. Put that up a little bit higher so you guys can see it. Okay, now for row 2 or round 2, we are going to chain 3, and now you're going to work a double crochet right in that same stitch. Right in there. And then we're going to work double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, see, this is our cluster right here. So one, 2, and 3. Okay, right across there. Now chain 1 and work 2 double crochets in the top of the cluster. So that's right here. So this is like where you pulled it up when you did your 2 at the end. You're going to do 2 right in there. 1, 2. Chain 1. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets right here. And double crochet in the next 3. Can you see how we're kind of going to make a square? So our corner is going to wind up right here above where you're doing that cluster. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets right there to this side of our cluster. Chain 1, come over to this side, do 2 double crochets. Now you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets right here. Sorry guys, I had to turn my air on. It got to 80 today in Texas, so chain 1, go to this other side, do 2 double crochets. See how we're getting our sides? Okay, now 3 double crochets in these next ones. And now we're back down. This is this side of that cluster. We need 2 double crochets in this side of the cluster. Chain 1 and then attach yourself up here to that one, which is the top of that chain. So do a slip stitch into that top of that chain right there. And now we have row 2, and you can see our square. with our clusters in the center. We lay that against that white too. All right, now for round 3, we're going to chain 3. You're going to work a double crochet in that same stitch right there, right just below it. And in the next double crochet, work another one, another double crochet. Now you're going to work a cluster in the next double crochet. Okay, so remember our cluster is yarn over, pull up a loop, and go through 2. Do it again. That's 2. That's 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. 6 times we do that. Now you're going to pull through 6 of those loops. You'll have 2 on your hook and pull through the last 2. Okay, so we worked a cluster. Now you're going to double crochet in the next top of that next double crochet, which is right, kind of lean that over and look for it right there. There, so double crochet there. Now we're going to do that again. Where we're going to work a cluster. Go through 6 and then go through 2 and do a double crochet right here next to it. Now you can see that's pretty much right above these, kind of in this in the center of those. Okay, so we did our cluster, then we did our double. Now we're going to come over here and see, this is really our corner, but we're not going into that corner hole. Just go over to this next double on the other side of it and do 2 double crochets. Chain 2 and go over to the next double crochet and do a double crochet there. So now you've actually built another corner. Now we're going to do, and this is our repeat. So we did 2 doubles and then a double in the next, and now we're going to work a cluster right here. Sorry, that's my dryer going off. Got laundry going. Okay, now we're going to pull through 6 and then pull through the last 2. So there's our cluster. Okay, now double crochet in the next. Do another cluster in the next one. Pull through 6, pull through 2. Now you're going to double crochet in that next one right there, Can you see we're doing our square? But here, here, now we just did our clusters there. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets right here. Chain 2. You jump in that corner, going over to that next one over here and doing a double crochet there. And don't worry, sometimes these clusters just don't want to poke their heads out. I've seen that with so many clusters. That's just how they kind of do. All right, I'm going to stick with you on this, okay? Well, I'm not going to tell you to go around and do the rest and yada yada, because this one is a little complicated. All right, so now we did that. We made the corner. Now we're going to do another cluster right here. Our 6, go through 6, go through 2. Now you're going to do your double crochet there. Whoops. It's a good thing our granny was so easy. Now we're going to do another cluster in the next one. Go through 2, double in that one. So it's, see, we're at our corner over here again, so it's 2 doubles in that one, chain 2, jump the corner and do a double on top of that one. So now we've got 3 sides. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to finish this 4th side together again. Whoops, what'd I do? Okay, we did a double. Sorry, we do 2 doubles. Chain 2 and jump the corner. My bad. All right, now we start and we do our cluster. Do a double crochet in the next one. Now we do another cluster. Go through 6, go through 2. Now we do a double in the next one and 2 doubles in the next one. Then we're going to come over here. We get down to this last end, you're going to slip right here into the top of this one, which was your chain. Slip into that to join. And it's going to pull it out. It looks a little circular. I think it's because that those clusters kind of pull it, but yeah. So we are going to move on to round 4. And for round 4, we're doing chain 3 and then double crochet right here in that same stitch. And in the next 2 double crochets. So double, double, toil and trouble. And now we're going to double in the cluster, which is right there. Double in the next double. Double in the cluster. Double in the one on the other side. Okay, so after that cluster, then we double crochet in that next one. Then we do 2 double crochets in the next one, which is right before that corner. Chain 2. Now you're going to repeat. Okay, so the repeat is 2 double crochets over here, double crochet in the next, double crochet in the cluster, double crochet on the other side of the cluster, double crochet in the side of this cluster, and double crochet on the other side of that cluster. Then we're going to double crochet in the next, and 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. And you may have to run this back a couple times to get what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so see, we've built that side and that side. Now we're back at this corner. Chain 2 to make that corner, go across, 2 double crochets over here, double crochet in the next. Now you're going to double crochet in the cluster, and go on the other side of the cluster and double crochet, double crochet in the top of this cluster, on this side of it, and now over here on this side of it, double crochet in the next one, and 2 double crochets in the next one, chain 2. You're going to go across the corner to the next side, 2 double crochets, another double crochet in the side over here. Now you're going to double crochet in this side of the cluster and this side of this cluster, double crochet on this side of this cluster and the other side of this cluster. All right, we're making our way back around. Now we're going to double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next, and we're going to join in the top of that chain. With the slip stitch join. All right, we made it around, guys. And the clusters, like I said, these clusters make it look a little weird. But okay, round 5. Now this square is going to have 7 rounds, and then it's going to have its own edging. So just keep that in mind when we get closer to here, because we're going to do 5, 6, and 7, and then it has its own edging. So it's an edging in order to finish the square before you put the joining edging. Just a heads up there. All right, now you're going to chain 3 and double crochet in that same stitch. This is round 5, and it's another cluster round. 2 double crochets in the next one. Whoops. There we go. And now you're going to work your cluster in this next double crochet. Now you're going to do your 6 and your 2, and there's your cluster. Now you're going to double crochet, work your cluster in the next double crochet, do a double crochet in the next, and now we're going to work one more cluster. Now you're going to double crochet in the next, so right now we have 3 clusters, and we're going to have a total of 4. So now we're going to do another cluster. Okay, now we're getting close to our corner, so we're going to do our double and then 2 doubles in the next. Chain 2, jump across, Okay guys, now we're going to chain 3 before we go over there to the other side of this corner, and then we're going to double crochet, do 2, we're going to double crochet, and then do 2 double crochets. No, I have already forgotten. 2 double crochets and a single crochet. Yeah, so chain 3, 2 double crochets, and a double crochet. Now we've got to do 4 clusters here, just like the other side. So we're going to cluster, double, cluster, double, cluster, double, and then we're going to do 2 doubles, and we're going to make our corner. Okay, cluster. Now you do a double right next to it. Now go right into the next one and do a cluster. Now double, now cluster. This makes our 3rd cluster. And a double, 1 more cluster, okay, now you do just like we did over here. We're going to do a double and then 2 doubles, chain 3, go across and do 2 doubles, a double, and now we're going to start our clusters again. So it'll be cluster double 4 times, and then double, 2 doubles, chain 3, 2 doubles, double, cluster 4 times, and I'll meet you back when we get over here, and you'll just join right here to your chain 3. Okay, all right, just play it back if you've got to. Now we're ending this row. Just did my last cluster there. This is my corner here. I'm going to do 2 double crochets here, chain 2, and like I said, we're going to join to the top of this chain with a slip stitch, and that is row 5. And it's always going to look a little wonky until you get done. Just so you know, it's wonky. That's just kind of the nature of this particular square, guys. So don't feel like you're doing it all wrong. It's just a wonky one. It's a wonky one. Okay, round number 6. And just when you thought you had the hang of it, we're going to change it up for round number 6. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the same stitch. Right where we've been double crocheting, we're single crochet. Single crochet into that same stitch right there. Okay, now you're going to single crochet in each double crochet and in each cluster across to the next chain 3 space, okay, which is over here. So across, basically across the side. All right, so single crochet in each double crochet and in each cluster. All right, so that was a chain 1. This is on this side of the corner. That was the chain 1 and the single crochet. I'm just recapping. Now single crochet right here is the next one. For some reason I'm not catching both of those. There we go. Got to find both of them. So that's 3 there. Now there's this side of the cluster and this side of this cluster. This side of the cluster and this side of the cluster. Remember, we're single crocheting it. This side and this side. One more cluster. This side and this side. Okay, now we've got this double and this double. All right, now we went all the way across the side to the chain 3 space, and we're going to do 5 single crochets in that chain 3 space right here. So 1, 2. It's hard to make your brain change to the singles. It's 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do that again. We're going to do our singles across to here, do our 5 single crochets all the way around. So a single there, and a single there. So that's 2, and then either side of these 4. One side, here's the other side. This side, left side of it, and the right side of it. That's 2 of them. Left side of it and the right side of it. That's 3 of them. The left side of it and right side of it. And that's 4 of them. Now we've got this double and this double. All right, now do your 5 in here. That's 5. Now we turn. That's 2 sides. Okay, repeat that on these other 2. I'll meet you back over here where we join. Hello, back at the corner. So we got these last 2. I did both sides of that cluster. Now we're doing one here. One here. Okay, you got to do your corner here too. So 5 in here. Yikes. And then join right here at that first single crochet. Yay, you did row 6. Yep. Okay, we've made it to round 7, chain 1. We're going to single crochet in the first 15 of these single crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, 15. Now you want 3 single crochets in the top of that one. 1, 2, 3. Turn it. Now you're going to do single crochet in the next 17. Now you're going to do 3 in that one. 1, 2, 3. Turn. Now do 17 again. Now you do 3 in this one. Okay, now you're going to do 17 again. When we got all the way around, we're going to slip to that into that first, because you did 3 here in the corner, slip into that first one. And here's the deal, when you finish that row, the main thing is that you're going to have 80 single crochets all the way around. Now I just went back and counted before, when I got to up here I went back and counted to make sure I was at my 80 before I joined. So you want to have 80 single crochets, and that's round 7. Now again, this thing is wonky. It's starting to straighten out a little bit now that we are edging it some. and right real close to that to that 7 before the edging, which will be 8 with our edging. And that's the end of the rows, but it has its own edging. So now we're going to do the single crochet again, and we're going to end up, we're going to do another round of our own edging to get this out to where we have the 112. Okay, so we're at 80 now. Now we're going to do what we did a minute ago, and we're going to get it back out to where it's at our 112. So you're going to chain 1, you're going to single crochet right there. Okay, now you're going to do 2 single crochets in this one. So that's 3 for our corner. Now we should have 25, 3, 25, 3, and make sure that you have 112 on this row. Okay, in order to get my 25 over here where we started, you did your single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next one. So that was your single crochet in the corner, and then 2 single crochets in the second one of the corner. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to do a single, that's 2, and 2 singles, that's 3 and 4. Let's do that again. Single, that's 5, single, that's 6, 2 singles, 7 and 8, 9, 10, now 2 again is 11 and 12, 13, 14, now 2 again, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2 again, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now we're up in this first one of that corner, and 2 in there is 23, is 24. Now we're doing 25. Okay, so that gives us our 25 and our 3 in the corner, 25, and we started with 3 in this corner. Now we've got to do, I'm going to go right back into that same one and do 1, and then I'm going to do 2 here, 1 and 2. Okay, now do 2 in a row. So that's our 3 for the corner. 1, 2, do 2 in the next one, 3, 4, go on across, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, till we get over here. Now I'm back in this corner. That was 25. And we're coming back over to here. Do 1 right in that same stitch. That's 1. Okay, 1. Now in the next one, do your 2. That's 1. And that's 2. And that's our 3 for the corner. Now we do 1, 2, and 2 in the next for our 3, 4, Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way across down to here. Down here in this corner, I'm at 22. So this next one, I'll do 2 more. 23, 24. And then I'm going to do 1 more in this one for my 25. And then I'm going to close to that first one that we started. Because we started right there and we did our 3. So now you should have, go back and count and make sure that you have 112 before you cut your yarn. Count and make sure you have 112, because we are almost at the 8. It's not quite. That's what I wanted to check. Yeah, we're not there yet. So make sure you have your 112. And if you do, then you're going to repeat that row, but you do not increase it. You want to keep it at 112. So you're going to do 3, 25, 3, 25, and keep it the same. All right? I'll see you after that row, and then we'll be at our 8 inches. Okay, guys, we have our next 2 squares are all done. This is number 16 and 17. And there's our granny, and then this is our cluster square. Now, I will say this is a very pretty square. Don't get me wrong. However, I really did not enjoy doing this. I just didn't. I'm not keen on how this was working up in this formation. Maybe I would like these clusters done on something else, or I might like it if the clusters were a different color, where it would add more interest to it and they would pop out more for me. Yeah, it's just I just did not really enjoy this as much as I enjoyed some of the other squares. But if you like clusters, then you liked that one. So there they are. They look great. We are at our 8 inches. So that's good too. And I will see you guys. Be sure and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when the next squares come up. Thank you for being patient with me. If you're watching this now, you know that it was a few weeks in between the last squares and this one. This is being filmed at the end of March of 2021. And so if you're getting caught up and you're just getting to these, you won't know that there was a break in between. So, but those of you that do, thank you for being patient with me. And I've got some more coming. I'll see you in a few days with the next ones. Y'all have fun today.